Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Art Talk Out West. My name is Charnel Rizk, your host, and thank you for following the journey if you followed all along till this point. As always, before we get into it, paying respects to the Cabral people of the Darug Nation, the first Indigenous people on this land, the first storytellers, the first creatives, and the first people who communicated and created together, and acknowledging how we are only just visitors on this land and how privileged and lucky we are to be on this land and to create and have these conversations and share this with you guys. And paying respects always to elders past, present and emerging. And without further ado, if that's the saying, I am so excited. Is it the saying?
Yeah, I think so.
I am so excited to introduce you to Alwyn De Los Santos.
It's me! No. Hi everyone, my name is Alwyn De Los Santos. I am 28 soon. Oh my goodness, I'm 28 soon. Yeah, I teach and I sing. That's pretty much my thing. There's more to it, obviously, but just the baseline of what I tell everyone, I'm a teacher and I'm a singer. Teacher performer kind of thing. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And you know what I've been enjoying so much about Art Talk Out West is I get to introduce you all to people who are kind of close to me and close to my heart as well and within my network and my circle, and I've worked with everyone that I've interviewed so far. And so I'm just so excited to share with you all Alwyn, because Alwyn is a very special person, part of my team. And he's helped me through so much. If you don't know, Alwyn is my vocal coach, and I've been working with Alwyn for a few years now.
Let's go. How long has it been now?
3 years.
Dang, for real?
Yeah.
Wow, that's been some
We're heading
time.
to 3 years. Yeah.
Wow, I remember when she first came to me. She was a shy little gal. And now she's all the risk. Come on now, look at this shirt. So I think just seeing her from when we first started to where she is now is huge. So my biggest thing is being a teacher, and what I hold teacher to my chest and my whole heart specifically is to be able to cultivate, grow, build into person that they are. So when I first met Charnel, she was very, again, shy girl.
Shy girl. I'm a very shy guy.
Yeah, shy. And even just feeling a bit insecure for the light word. Yeah, very much those things, insecure. And then just about posting or singing. And I think what's really important about having a team and which is so amazing that you have, is to be able to cultivate more so what your vision is for yourself. Because ultimately, for me, again, being a teacher, I want to be able to bring that out. So what I saw in her was that I saw her vision, I saw her drive, and over the past podcast, you can kind of see the people who she works with. That's a common denominator. You can see that she's hungry, she's seeing that she's determined, and being a part of that now, of all the risk, love it, is really cool. Being a part of her team is really, really cool because, one, I believe in her, and two, I respect her because she works hard, and I'm a big advocate for a hard worker.
Thank you, Alwyn.
Yeah, big time.
Wow, I didn't get him on to just talk about me like that. No, but can you tell how Alwyn is a part of my team and has helped me so much? That's why I wanted to bring you on here, Alwyn.
Thank you.
Because I think what you've done for me, you've probably done for so many other people as well, and I'm so excited to get into that.
Yeah.
But just then, we just touched on so many different topics. We've just dived straight into it.
Yeah, why not?
I love that. But you mentioned feeling we mentioned imposter syndrome, anxiety, thoughts in our head. I guess this is something that a lot of artists go through.
100%.
A lot of humans go through. Period.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I think if we think the exterior as artists, right? That's the exterior. That's the front that we put on to the world, right? Before that, we are just humans. We have humans that feel all of our emotions, and as creatives, we feel them hardcore, and then we put it in an art form. So then it creates, provokes, it connects with people. But yeah, outside of what I do professionally, bruh, I'm a little anxious boy. I still get insecure. I still feel I always deal with doubt. I always deal with just like internal things a lot. And I think in the year 2025, I really want to bring that forward because I think my front is a little too strong. I think my front and what I do professionally is a little too strong. And as great as he is, Alwyn De Los Santos, whatever, Alwyn is still a little shy boy too. So
Period, yeah.
yeah, it's just like just connecting to that. I think that's why I'm able to connect to so many artists is because I understand that, and then building that personal life up more, or like building the internal belief into what the front is already is my goal as a teacher. Yeah, because I don't release music, but being a part of something that is like arts, creative related makes me feel a part of it, even though I'm not doing it specifically.
Yeah, you're a part of the journey.
Yeah.
Like, I can speak for myself. You've been a part of my journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, wow, so much to unpack there. But I guess just from that, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Being so vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm going straight in.
Yeah, straight in, guys. But what I want you guys to take from this is a lot of the time, you know, you might see these artists or creatives in the industry, like Alwyn and myself, and we have these really strong fronts. Because you tell me, people tell you you've got like this really strong, confident front.
Yeah.
And then people be telling me like, oh, Charnel, like you're so confident, blah, blah, blah. Maybe like that's how we are perceived. And we have to be like that in a way when, you know, putting ourselves out there.
Yes.
But I don't want you guys to forget that underneath all that, we're still just human. And we go through our own battles and our own anxieties.
In our heads.
In our heads.
Yeah. And I think, sorry to tap into that, but talking about it more, talking about it in this setting, yes, it's going to be put into, you know, social media, it's going to be put into Spotify, all these amazing things. But the reality is, we're still human.
We're still human, yeah.
And having this like vulnerable conversation is what is able to connect to me and you,
of course,
and then to you listening and watching, which is pretty hectic.
Exactly that. Yeah. So keep that in mind. And like a lot of our sessions, Alwyn, when I go in for a vocal session, sometimes we spend like a good like amount of time debriefing our lives.
Oh,
yeah.
Real shit.
Can you like
tuck your mushrooms?
Yeah. All right. Talk to me about why is that important? Why do you think that's important? Because it's always so benefiting for me. When you're working with your artists, why do you think that's important?
So, I think I always say this. I always say this when it comes to teaching my artists or even just all my students really, the more that you are emotionally withdrawn from me, the harder it is for me to teach. And because singing is such a vulnerable experience, and also having a teacher to like direct you and instruct you in a certain way, the biggest thing that I like to do is making sure that I attack how your day was. You're going to give me a real answer, you can give me a fronted answer, but I usually have to like navigate through what is happening emotionally first before we can then sing to release. So with Charnel, we've been friends for I don't want to say friends recently because she was my student first, and then
I started off as his student and then we became good friends. Maybe like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, a year and a half.
I reckon a bit before your birthday, really.
Yeah, before my birthday. So, like over a year, kind of nearly a year.
And just knowing her in a friend state actually makes the singing experience as a teacher to student an easier, smoother transition for her to get where she needs to be. Again, if she's being held back from what she's feeling from the day or from the week, it's harder for me to get it out of her because she is in a space of like, oh, I'm in a shit place. It's hard for the voice to come through. My biggest thing is the voice is going to reflect how you are feeling. It could be physically, emotionally. There's so many factors in the voice that's going to be harder for it to like be free. So my biggest thing is just making sure that let's attack the first thing first, emotion now, and then doubling down into singing. That's what I like to do with my artists specifically. But yeah.
I think that's so important.
Big time.
I think in a lot of art or creative spaces, that's very important. Even like, for example, if we're working on like a theatre show or something, we're going into a rehearsal, it's always nice even just to do a check-in with each other.
Big time.
because I guess just to reinstate, reminding everyone that we're all just still human at the end of the day. You know, we're all going through pain. Someone's going through heartbreak. Someone's going through this and that. And yeah, it's just like the power of just talking about it and listening to each other is beautiful.
And then looking into being the character or the artist or the blah, 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 blah. You just feel a little bit more real because it feels like, okay, I kind of released this like deep feelings that I'm feeling. Now I can look into who I need to be.
Thank you, Alwyn. So I obviously think you're such an amazing teacher. That's why I really enjoyed being your student. Thank you. Tell us, when did you decide that you wanted to be a singer and a teacher? So let's take it back a few steps, right? Yeah. Let's go back to younger Alwyn.
Yeah. Oh, young Alwyn.
Yeah. Before we even jump into that, let's talk about your upbringing, what's come before you.
Okay, so I've always been surrounded by singers. My family sing. My mom sings, my dad sings, my kuya, my older brother sings, my sister sings. Wow. But it's very like an internal thing. Like I think in the Filipino culture, as maybe most of y'all know, Filipinos can sing.
I was going to say, every Filipino can sing.
Yeah, they can sing. Like it's just part of the culture. I think it's just a way to like
that.
It's just, we just build like that. But it's just like a way to connect and just like feel family together in like maybe in the world of Filipino culture. But singing has always been around me for a really long time in church. Church specifically, singing. I've always just known singing. So when I first started singing, it was actually just for like choir. It was kind of for karaoke at home. I know you Filipinos know that one. Singing at home, predominantly just karaoke. And then I think by the time that it got to my teenage years, my mom presented me, hey, you want to do a competition? And then I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? I was kind of a bit like, competition? What? I just sing in the shower. I just sing at home. Yeah. And then I did really, really well. And then from there, it progressively got into like more bigger things. So at 14, I always say, is when I professionally started singing. I started going to competitions. I started singing for like front acts for when an artist comes in, which is pretty cool. So I would actually say that performer Alwyn is one. I was a performer first before I became a teacher.
Of course.
Yeah, because that's what I knew. I wanted to be the next Guy Sebastian. That got presented to me, and then I turned it down. I was just like, okay, I think this is not for me. Kind of didn't feel that way. Yeah, which is a whole other conversation. But yeah, I was just like, do I want to be a star? I don't know. I always known myself to like do a million things. Before I was singing, I actually did art. I did art and photography from like year 7 all the way to year 12. So like drawing, painting, watercolors, all of that was very much me first. I actually wanted to be an artist.
Like, so a visual artist.
A visual artist, thank you. A visual artist before I became this. So, but yeah, and then singing felt a little bit more closer to me because it was influenced by my family, influenced by my culture. And then I just took it professionally from then on. And then I got offered a job to start teaching. And I actually turned it down. I turned it down because I was like, oh, I don't know if I want the responsibility. I want to be Guy Sebastian. But I was like, you know what? Actually, let's make some money. Yeah. That's really what it was. Let's make some money. And I was just like, all right, here we go. Started teaching. And then I grew to love teaching. When I started to connect to my younger ones and some of my teens, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I was able to see myself in them. I was able to see myself in like that hunger, that drive, which is like, yeah, I love singing. I love singing so much. And then being the teacher, who was obviously older, it was just like, it was nice just to bring that together. Of young Alwyn, of like when he first started coming into the performance world, and then combining the world of teaching, it just felt correct for me. Now being 28 now, so 14 to 28, I've been singing for a really long time, and I've been teaching for a while too. It still feels the same. I'm just older. I still feel just as passionate from when I am performing and doing all these amazing things, and as well as being a teacher. So if I was to bring it into like what I do specifically, I've been teaching for 10 years, which is crazy.
Wow, 10 years.
Yeah, 10
well
years,
done.
man. Thank you. 10 years. and I've been running Century Music for 7.
So what is Century Music?
Century Music is a singing and piano school. It was located in the Parkley, which is in the west. And then the school has elevated into Marsden Park. And then we exceeded both areas. And now that we are located in the Ponds, I run a team of 4. So which is a whole thing. I have a senior vocal instructor, a junior vocal instructor, a administrator, which is hectic. And I have another junior vocal instructor who's currently in training. And then there's me, which is awesome. Great. And then my business partner, Naomi Cotton, she is the head of piano, and she manages her team of piano teachers, which is awesome. So,
shout out Century Music, a great place. I've been seeing Alwyn there for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Really changed the game for me. So shout out you guys. Well done.
Century Music.
Always working hard.
Yeah.
Century Music. It sounds like your family has always been supportive of this. Big time. Okay, great. Now, what's interesting is, and I like asking my males that come in, well, it sounds like your family was supportive and it was always kind of in Filipino culture. But did you ever have any, did you ever have like that internal war of, I need to, and correct me if I'm just putting words in your mouth, but, like some men will tell me, I want to be like it's difficult for me to come out as an artist or creative because it might be maybe like colliding with my identity as a male. Masculine person?
I think singing in my family was so normal. I think when I started presenting that I am a singer in school, that's when I had those barriers. Okay. So I went to a school that was predominantly sport orientated. I was the music and art kid. That was me, right? And then everyone was very sport orientated. So the stigma of a male singer at the time wasn't the greatest. And I was really the only male singer at school that was kind of just like doing all the assemblies and like all those fun things. And like when there's creative arts nights, I was always singing. And it kind of painted me in a light that I didn't feel comfortable with because singing is meant to be a feminine trait, which is interesting, even though in my world, singing is so normal and it's just for anyone and everyone. So when I started to present that into the world, I kind of, I was really thrown off with the barriers I was facing. I was just like, should I be singing? Because it's not a boy thing to do. It's not a male thing to do. But I was like, you know what? YOLO. And I stuck with it. Yeah. Because I knew internally that it still felt right. And I think that was probably like the first barrier that I faced. From the outside world, outside of my family. As supportive as they are, and yes, they wanted me to be a nurse or an engineer or a doctor, all those things for stability and just like, for security, they were still very supportive. And I was still able to have that support, which I'm so grateful for. And I'm very privileged for my parents to continue supporting, to be in the space that I am in now.
Yeah, your mum's so beautiful. At our showcases, guys, his mum is there at the front of the door wearing TNs.
Yo, she's a gangster.
She's wearing TNs and like marking everyone that's coming. And I'm like,
so
period.
Awesome. I love her. Yeah.
Her and her TN.
Yeah, she's so cute. Oh god, and she's like full dripped out and everything. She's so wearing her cute little dress, so cool. And she's so lovely. Like I love that I'm able to create these end-of-term recitals and end-of-year performances. Reason why I bring my mom into these spaces because I want to show her what I've created. I want to show her the community that I've created in Century Music and the people that I've cultivated, and she can just be a proud mom because I just want to make my parents proud. I think all of us do, and that's like another conversation. But fully.
Yeah, so guys, Century Music, at the end of every term, they do an end-of-term showcase.
Yeah.
And it's a great experience to practice performance if you haven't done it before. Or
exactly.
Like
and the intentions with what I get Charnel to do is to just expose everything first in a safe environment so that when you're doing it out there for gigs, when you're doing it there in like bigger events, it feels a little bit more acclimated.
Yeah, it's nice. Right? Like, for example, if I've just come out of the studio and I've got a new song that I haven't performed anywhere before, Alwyn will be like, perform at an end of term recital. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get to practice that in a very
which is hectic.
space.
Yeah, and there was even one time in a term recital, I think maybe like term 3 or whatever, probably term 2, last year, you literally had a new song,
Yeah.
performed it at the end of term recital, and then performed it again at a gig. Like,
it was nice.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
why I set the intention for artists to be performing. Artists, if you're watching this, end of term recital, Century Music, perform. Because the intention is to get it acclimated, and then when you're putting it into the real world, it actually feels a lot more stable. Because you did it in front of a safe people already.
Yeah.
And then when you put it in a place that's going to be predominantly judged or just like criticized on, you actually have a little bit more of a security first before it's put out into there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And just quickly, like, not to be biased or anything, but I think this is what makes you such a great vocal coach and singing teacher.
Thank
and I think
you.
it's what makes you different from a lot of other singing teachers.
Stop!
Really, because especially for artists, like when we come in, and I know a lot of your other artists who see you, like I'm friends with them, we speak. And one thing that you do, which we love, is you set that intention for us.
Yeah, of
You
course.
set that intention for our songs, for our
100%.
performances, and it just helps us grow into stronger
Yeah.
performers.
And I think that's what's really important about intention. We are creatives, right? We can definitely live in this world of just like being everywhere all at once. But if we can lock into what the intention is, we're actually able to create. We're
Yes.
actually able to action, and we're actually able to like create longevity, sustainability, like able to make security, because the intention is the foundation before it's put into the real world.
Speak about sustainability. Because I know that's been your thing lately.
So sustainability comes in many different forms in self-driven work. Self-driven work.
Yeah, I like this. Let's get into this.
Yeah. My recent one that I posted is about self-driven income and how to understand your finances and how to just make it work in your favor.
So I'm going to pause it there. So if anyone is not catching on what we're talking about, so Alwyn's you've been doing like these
those segments on Instagram. I'm trying to just bring more light about what the music industry is and how to make it more sustainable emotionally and physically.
Yes, and because besides being a vocal coach and singing teacher, Alwyn works in the music industry as a
backing vocalist, a vocal instructor, many different things, but predominantly a backing vocalist, which is pretty awesome.
And so, like, you might have seen Alwyn on stage at the Opera House.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I did.
At the Opera House, in America, on an Australian tour, New Zealand. Yeah, many different.
Before we get into sustainability, I think it's going to be interesting if we actually hear more first about how you've made, your singing and your teaching a business.
Yeah.
Because that kind of ties in with making your parents proud.
Big
and
time.
You've used your artistry and creativity in a very smart way.
Yeah.
Which I've spoken about here and there along these podcasts. But reality is, we need to make income. We need to be able to sustain ourselves. We need to be able to pay the bills and buy food for us.
Keep the lights on.
Yeah, keep the lights on. I think in my last episode, one of us said that we want to steer away from the struggling artist whole concept. No, like we're not pro that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in actually ages.
Yeah, and like working is a good thing.
Working is a good thing, especially when it comes into investing into your craft. So I was actually having this conversation with my girlfriend this morning. And
shout out Serena.
Shout out Charnel. Honestly, she got us together.
I said him and his girlfriend.
I know, Cupid. So I was having this conversation with Serena this morning, and I was saying that investing in the world of business is very different when it comes to your normal everyday investing. Investing is kind of just like what we know is like invest in a house, invest in a blah blah, invest in material things so you can bring in to understand value and then sell it. And the world of business is understanding like what you are investing in to bring it back into your business. So formula of what I did specifically was straight after high school, I landed a teaching job, incredible. And then I was studying, which is awesome.
What did you study?
I studied contemporary of music. Wait, let me rephrase that. Bachelor's of Music in Contemporary Performance at JMC Academy. Make it happen. Make it happen at JMC. Lol. But after JMC, I got a retail job. I was working at Universal.
Oh, that suits you.
Yeah, fully. Like,
yeah, you'd be like, buy this.
Yeah, I still look like someone that works in retail.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. But
which one? Which store?
The one in Town Hall.
Town Hall.
Yeah.
Damn, you were traveling.
I was traveling.
Also, sorry. Quickly shout us out. Where did you grow up? Where do you live in the West?
Oh my goodness, I live in like 5 minutes away from Doonside, West Side till I die.
Great, shout out Doonside.
Yeah, so I think like traveling to the city was such an exciting time for me. Like studying in the city, I didn't mind being away from the West because it was a new scene and it was like, so overwhelming and so exciting. So after uni, I was already teaching during uni, which is hectic. After uni, I picked up a retail job. And then I started Century Music. So I was investing my money from Universal Store to create and build Century Music. It was pretty hectic. So there was a point where I was teaching and I was working 6 days a week, which is hectic. Mondays, Saturdays, I was teaching. And then at a certain school. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was teaching at Century Music. And then in the mornings, I was actually teaching at my retail job. So a lot of my time was being spent into investing into Century Music. Now Century Music is at a point where we have like located into a final place, which is hectic. I manage a team of 4, which is incredible. But investing in your time, investing in your money is what is going to elevate and build. So I'm in a position now, which is incredible, and I'm so freaking blessed, where I have Century Music as, your classic bread and butter. So anything that's after that, that's performing, gigging, weddings, OTS. OTS is I do weddings. And backing vocals internationally, interstate, at the Opera House. As fun, as exciting as they are, it's side money. It's just awesome. But I'm able to just like have Century Music first. And then anything after is just all for fun.
That's good.
That's literally what it is.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Of course.
I think like a lot of us benefit from having that open conversation. Because in the end, we're all humans and we all need to survive in this world.
Exactly.
And all of like where you are now is a reflection of your hard work.
Yeah.
And it takes hard work. It takes hard work. Nothing was handed to you. You really had to work so hard.
Exactly. And I'm also a first generation of immigrant parents.
Let's get into that.
That's so real. So baseline of everything I do is just making my parents proud, is because I understand that they brought me to a land of opportunity. I chose to be in the world of music. Now that I'm older, I've chosen to be the world of business in music, and having the normal things outside of the creativity world is what makes me feel proud in myself, knowing that I'm making my parents proud in what I've chosen. So understanding that I have to do X, Y, and Z, and I have to do all of these hard-driven things that cost a lot of time, energy, soul, blood, sweat, and tears, I can now present it in a way that's like, look what I've done. I love you so much. Thank you for bringing me here, because it takes a lot of sacrifice to pick up your life from another country to then build here again, especially in a survival mindset. Oh my God, that's a whole other thing in itself. But when your parents come from a survival mindset because they have transitioned from another country, the only way to essentially give back is to be as successful as you can in any capability that you have or have access to. Doesn't mean having a whole bunch of stupid money. No. It could literally just be having a secure family. It could even just be working a full-time job. You don't have to be earning 6 figures to make your parents proud. It's just making sure and showing them that you are stable. So bring it back to sustainability. Because
Before you get into that,
yes.
I just want to say that was really beautifully said.
Thank you.
And that kind of reminds me of something, I might have shared this with you in the past, but just like when I'm going through my daily tasks and I don't know, going from a gig or something or a job, sometimes it can all be really busy.
And overwhelming.
Yeah, I know our schedules are very busy, but it's nice to sometimes just take that minute for yourself and like recognize.
Kumbaya.
But recognize that, number one, we are, again, so lucky and privileged to just be visitors on this land, the land of the Indigenous people.
Yes.
But also, and then also remember that, like, our family, our parents or our grandparents came here in survival mode. And they went through a lot for us to be here.
Yeah.
And we have more opportunities.
Yes.
Now because of them.
Forever grateful, forever blessed.
Yes. And we have these opportunities and we need to just be, grateful and stay thankful. Also remembering the land that we are on.
Yes.
So it's nice just to just keep that in mind. Be in touch with yourself.
100%. Touch grass.
Touch grass.
Touch grass. Stay humble.
Always
do the
stay
thing.
learning,
Yeah. Always stay hungry. Always stay hungry to like be better.
Yes.
Be better in yourself.
Yes, 100%. I like that. Okay, so sustainability. I want to get into it, but before we get into that, tell us about working with Nairi.
Oh my God.
You've worked with some really big artists.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So Nairi, oh my God, love you so much. Love you because I don't think I've spoken about this, but she really made me believe in myself. I really had to learn so much. And there was a point where I was the youngest in the band. And I'm facing now some of these incredible top tier musicians who are older than me, and I had to be at that level.
So explain how would you introduce Nairi to our listeners?
I would introduce Nairi as a Papua New Guinean artist. She was first presented on Australian Idol, and now she's a big arts and like pioneer of just like awesomeness, of just putting forward, of bringing awareness into Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is the closest island to Australia, and she's like making that just known. She's currently living back into Papua New Guinea, just building her family there again, and just a whole bunch of amazing things. But I would actually tell her that she's my friend. As amazing as she is,
I think so. It sounds like.
Yeah, as amazing as she is, as this Nairi double I, like NGAIIRE. I know her as Nairi with one I, and that's her human name. That's her name, and I know her, and she's my friend, and she's so incredible, and she has leveled me up in so many ways in my career, and I will always be thankful for her. But yeah, she's a great friend of mine.
Beautiful. I'm very happy for you. Well deserved. So you do backing vocals for her, and you go on tour with her.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the first time that I started working with Nairi, I did 2 shows in Melbourne's NGV. Yeah, NGV, and then it was like back to back, and then back to back again with Vivid. That was my first ever backing vocals experience. And I was like, holy moly. It's like straight rock star. You fly out, stay at a hotel, which is hectic, and then you fly out again, and then you do the show, and it was pretty much it. And then after, it just snowballed into something more huge. So I was doing a whole bunch of interstate shows, which was incredible. There was a point where I was doing an interstate show once every fortnight on top of my teaching.
I think I remember that period.
That was so crazy. And then I did an Australian tour, so I was teaching 4 to 5 days a week, and then I was leaving on the weekends to do an Australian tour. So I did an Australian tour, which was incredible. That was my first ever tour ever. Oh my God. So intense. So, I don't want to say rock star, but like, so many intimate moments of just like connection, so many moments of just like, holy moly, I am in a whole other state right now. And I'm also someone that doesn't travel a lot. So traveling places for work, I was like, wow, I'm so lucky. This is the dream. This is a dream for, like, an Australian tour is a dream for many artists, which is awesome. And I'm just a backing vocalist.
I'm just thinking, I just had this flashback of little Alwyn with his family singing karaoke at home. Little did he know he'd be on a tour one day.
Yeah. The first tour was Australian, and then the second tour was America. And I was away for like 4 weeks straight, and that was insane. So like, imagine I'm chilling in my hotel room, and I'm just like by myself. And I'm like, oh my God, if only young Alwyn could see where he is right now. It's in Billings, Montana to be exact. Snowing.
Wow.
In my hotel room. Oh my God. Fighting jet lag. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. I'm here.
I love that, yeah. Always giving thanks, yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me, in my second episode, I had Tammy on. You know Tammy. Does my videos for...
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Tim Tam.
Tim Tam.
Yes, I know Tim Tam.
But she was telling us where she was in Adelaide for a theatre show she was working on, and she was sitting in her hotel room, and she was looking at the view, and she could see the theatre like in the corner of where she'd be working, and then like that was the moment where she was like, oh wow, like I can achieve my dreams. Yeah, those little moments are so cute. I love hearing them. Thank you for sharing that.
No worries. It's so important.
Yeah. So like you're doing amazing work with Nari. Well done. I got to see you perform at the Opera House.
Yeah.
I think literally probably like exactly a year ago now, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
It was last April.
I think so.
I think so.
April 4th,
and
I think.
you were amazing. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think we get the picture, like amazing.
Thank you.
So then now I think let's jump into sustainability now that we've got the full picture.
Yeah. So
Sustainability
within the music industry. I've definitely dove in my toes in many different things. I knew what I wanted for myself as Alwyn De Los Santos, the professional, and I wanted to dive myself into all of that. All of it and a half. I'm really blessed because I'm doing exactly what I wanted to. I'm currently living my dream, which is hectic. Oh my God. Thank you, God. But because it is a lot of different things at once, in order for me to keep it up mentally, big time, is to figure out what is sustainable. So,
can I ask you?
hear me.
What made you have that kind of conversation with what made you have that conversation with yourself about wanting to just check in with your mental health and sustainability? Like, did anything trigger it or?
Well, it's gonna get real vulnerable. I don't really speak about this one, but
no,
I want to. Okay. I want to. But my friend Billy McCarthy told me to go to therapy. After the American tour. It took me so long for me to decompress after that. So long, and I was dealing with so many like internal struggles of like, I'm like dopamine rushed out. I'm teaching on top of this, mind you, and I'm just like, I am just completely not myself. What is going on? Went to my psychologist at the time, and then got diagnosed with ADHD, which is a whole thing. So now I'm actually currently medicated, which is a whole thing in itself. So with everything that I saw myself doing, the reason why I'm actually able to do it is because my brain seeks it. So I want to do a million things at once, and I know that I'm capable of because of this ADHD that I have, which is awesome. But I found myself crashing out all the time. And I had to have certain protocols in order for me to keep up. Now that I'm medicated, which is awesome, I'm a lot more stable. And I'm able to see what is for me and what isn't. So it's funny because I'm actually keeping up the same caliber that I'm doing, which is a lot, but also realizing I'm allowed to take a break. What? I'm allowed to take a break. I'm allowed to actually have a slow morning. I can have a slow morning because I'm not medicated and I can physically have one without my mind racing. So if it wasn't for Billy McCarthy telling me to go to my psychologist, I would have not known that I was ADHD. And I would have continued being just dopamined out and keeping up the caliber of work that I'm doing. So that means that it's not sustainable. Because as high caliber as it is and as demanding it is, it took a toll on me physically, it took a toll on me mentally, it took a toll on my soul. And I was like, is this really for me? Is this really for me? And I was just like, no, I know this is, but why does it come with such a big crash out? I was like, oh, I just found out that I'm ADHD'd, which is
Thank you for sharing
crazy.
that. I know it's very vulnerable. And well done to you for taking that first step and actually going to see a psychologist.
Thank you.
But you know what's interesting? I have this conversation with a lot of artists, a lot of creatives, a lot not just adults in general, but a lot of people in this world. And yeah, a lot of them are always, you know, like in the process of questioning whether they've got ADHD or not, whether they're on the spectrum or not. But I guess it's always hard taking that first step and seeking help.
100%.
So well done to you.
Thank you. I think it's because I was living in denial. I was living in denial of it. I kind of knew internally that I had something, that I've always just had a different thought process in comparison to my family. And I was just like, okay, this makes sense. This is why I'm able to do so many things at once. It just happens to be in the world of art. It happens to be in the world of music, where it keeps my brain like super excited.
Yeah,
so,
I feel that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think going back into sustainability, making sure that every move that I'm making in my adult years is as sustainable as possible. Because yes, longevity is also like, you know, longevity in our art is so important to us. But even as simple as just like, how am I feeling? Can I even keep that up? Okay, this doesn't feel right for me. I should not. As much as I want to, and I have to get comfortable with letting it go because it's not serving me anymore. It's those things. Yeah. Because ultimately there were so many things I had to let go that it was like I was holding on with dear life, but it was actually hurting me. And as simple as that analogy was, in order for me to keep up doing what I'm doing at a certain caliber, which happens to be high, understanding what is sustainable for me.
Yeah, we touched on a few things there. You said something, living in denial.
Yeah.
Living in denial. Yeah, living in denial. It's interesting. I feel like a lot of us have lived in denial of certain parts of ourselves. And that's always something, you know, that's between you and yourself and how you navigate it. But I think it also sometimes adds to whatever we're creating. But we need to make sure that we're checking in with ourselves and being healthy mentally and physically. But mental health is such a big thing, especially in this industry.
Big advocate for it.
Yes. And you spoke about crashing out after that whole tour.
Yeah.
This is something that is so real and relevant in any type of performer. You know, whether you're coming off a music gig or an acting gig or whatever type of gig it is, there's this like crash out at the end where you're on this high, you've got all this dopamine from performing and you've been with the crew and everyone's been together and the band's all been together for so long and then it's done.
Yeah.
And like me personally, I still don't know I'm still trying to work out how to regulate myself after a show.
Yeah.
You know, after a 2-week intensive or even just after like a one show on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, that come down after
is no joke.
Yeah. And there's been research done around it, but I still feel like we need to have these conversations and kind of support each other through it. But it's very real and relevant. And, you know, if you do experience this, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
We experience it.
Big time.
We discuss it all the time.
Yeah.
But I think you taking that step to get help and medicate yourself must have helped you in many ways.
Internally so much. Yes. Internally it helped me out so much so I can continue doing what I am doing. Because if we all experience this burnout, I was having them too frequently. Yeah. Way too frequently for my liking. And I was like, okay, now I gotta like start addressing some stuff, which is crazy. But yeah, just like figuring it out internally, and then I was able to just keep it up. Yeah. But ultimately, if I was to tell you a piece of advice on how I deal with a come down, is I try my best to keep up a routine. I try my best to keep up a routine. So what, as an example, if I'm gigging on a weekend and as incredible as the gig was, I need to come back into Monday to come back into myself normally. Because if you realize that when you are doing something so big, it's a very giving experience. Yes. You give your full self and a half out of 10.
And you expose yourself.
100.
Very vulnerable.
It's such a vulnerable experience. So then when you come back into, you know, your normality from Monday to Friday, my biggest thing that works for me is coming back into my routine, because that is my way to give back to myself. That means I need to wake up, going to the gym, continue having a really nice breakfast for 5 days a week. That's what I'm going to do, because I gave myself and a half on a weekend. Nice. So I need to bring myself back into my normality, into what my personal life is. Because the exterior is strong and a half, but then bringing it back into yourself 5 days a week. That is currently what is working for me, so I would suggest. It doesn't have to be physical. Bruh, saves. Going to the gym, bruh. But it unfortunately does help.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That leads me to my next point that I'm interested in. Tell us, what does a day in your life look like? Or if it needs to be a week in your life, because I know every day might differ.
Yeah.
But give us that insight.
Okay. As an example, what my week looked like this week is a little bit everywhere. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was booked for 2 rehearsals and a recording for Triple J.
Oh, yes,
huge,
that's exciting.
like a version. Massive, yeah. And then Wednesday after recording, I went to teaching. And then Thursday today, I have this podcast, which is incredible. And then I'm teaching all the way till 9:30 tonight. Usually I teach till 10 p.m., which is crazy. And then Friday, I have completely up because it's my girlfriend's birthday.
Oh.
And then the weekend is just like celebrating Serena. But on a usual working day as like Century Music, that's what I do usually, obviously. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am waking up at 9 to 10 in the morning. And then from 10 to 11, I'm getting ready to go to the gym. And then I'm going straight into going home from 11 to 12 or 11 to 12:30. And then getting ready to start teaching at 3. So in between that 11:30 to 3 p.m. section, I'm eating, I'm resting, or I'm doing admin before I start teaching from 3 to 9 or 4 to 10, which is pretty crazy. And because I teach from 2 clusters, I teach from 2 1 hour fortnightly clusters, cluster green and cluster purple. Ba, 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 ba. And I teach 2 clusters in a month, which is pretty awesome. So,
you see them as green and purple.
Yeah, I see them as green and purple. You are cluster green.
Oh, I'm
yeah, cluster green. Love it. All the risk.
But that's what I've actually noticed in you, which I like, and I think a lot of us would benefit from, trying to do this. Your schedule is very scheduled.
I'm very
sometimes
scheduled.
I have a peep at your calendar and everything is there. Yeah.
Which is pretty hectic. Because if I don't see what I'm getting myself into, I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget. And it's understanding and educating myself on my ADHD traits. Bruh, my mind is on a million other things at once. And even though I'm medicated, I still have those traits as well. I'm a lot more better now, but I still forget certain things. I have to put it all down in my calendar or else I'm literally going to forget. So I work from a Google Calendar, 1 hour fortnightly for private lessons. Cluster green is my most chillest. Cluster purple, I'm my most fullest. And I'm able to work around them. The thing that I don't like currently, now that I'm a lot more busier, is that it's harder for me to squeeze in gym.
Gym.
Yeah.
I know, it's always hard to fit the gym in. Gym. But look, it's good. Can you actually tell us why is gym and keeping hydrated and looking after our body important for our voice? Because you always tell me this.
Big time. So for me, the intention is if I can do the hardest thing in my day first, then everything else is going to be easier, right? So if I know that I can already do that mentally, hectic. And to follow that in physically, it just gets my body going. Sometimes if I go a little too hard, I'll crash out, which is not a good thing. But it just gets my body moving first because I'm a teacher. So I'm usually sitting behind a keyboard. I'm usually sitting. So I need to get my body moving before I'm back into station. So getting my body moving first is the hardest thing of my day out of everything. Getting my body to move is so beneficial. Also, keeping hydrated throughout the whole day. I drink 4 liters of water, which is hectic.
4 liters, wow.
Yeah, man. But also drink a lot of coffee too.
Yeah.
So I need to replenish as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
your ice long blacks.
Yeah, I had one on the way here. But it just keeping your body moving is super important, especially when you are doing something so creatively, mindfully, intense.
And do you think it's also good for stamina when performing?
It's good for many things, dude.
Yeah.
Even as simple as how would I? Being physically fit is great, but it's also physically healthy. Like it's just, for me specifically, in order for me to keep up doing all my high caliber stuff, I actually need to be physically healthy.
Yeah.
If that means active or eating right, is going to help fund what I'm doing at a 10.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, no, I mean, same.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying. And I think what I really appreciate from you, because, you know, like you're a vocal coach, singing teacher, and I teach in other ways. And a lot of you listening might be teachers as well. I know a lot of artists in this community are also teachers, you know, whether it's teaching music or acting or visual arts, or you're teaching English at school or whatever it is. But I think what I appreciate is I like that you like to look after yourself and make sure you are the best version of you.
Yes.
So then you can give your best to your students.
Yes, thank you. In order for me to be the best vocal instructor, the best backing vocalist, that's a very giving experience as well.
Yeah.
I need to give this to myself first before I'm able to give to others.
And I love that. And I think that's something we should all take with us. And just keep in mind.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be physical. Like before loving gym, I don't love it, but before appreciating gym, I used to just meditate in the morning, sit in the sun with my coffee, and that was me giving back to myself before giving myself fully. Yeah, there's certain things of just being like conserving and then giving, conserving and then giving.
I like that, conserving and then giving. I think that's nice. I think a lot of us can take that into our everyday life. Okay, unfortunately, we're coming to the end. God, these hours go so quickly.
So quick, my goodness.
We can sit and talk. We literally have, I think, once we spoke for 2 hours.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and then I'm like, I have to go. Before we close up, I just want to, because you also work and you teach a lot of cool artists. Can you just shout out some of the amazing local Western Sydney artists that you have worked with and
oh my God.
and stuff?
Can I just pull up my Instagram real quick?
Because, we want to showcase them, we want to shout them out.
Yes. So, just with who I'm currently working with, which is incredible, and it's going to be big.
Yeah.
Timmatic.
Timmatic.
Yeah, work with Timmatic, which is incredible.
Who is Western Sydney?
Yeah, who's Western Sydney?
Shout out Timmatic.
My goodness, love him. But Chanel, Loren, Emily, Jess Jade, Annalise, Justine Angel, Legacy, Chanel, Madeline, Sephora, Breakfast Road, Kimmy, Michael Costa. These are some of the artists. These are some of the artists that were just, I'm wanting to be better. Boom.
Yeah.
And now they're just neck level.
Yeah.
Some of them in hibernation mode in order to create and release. Some of them are in full performance mode. These are just some of the artists that I'm currently teaching right now.
Yeah.
These are the ones that I just put on my Instagram, and there's still many more that I'm teaching now that are currently in the cultivation mode before they present themselves out into the world.
And you play such an important role in all of our journeys. So thank you.
I really try.
Yeah.
I really, really try. Thank you.
I can see. Guys, if you want to support those artists and support Alwyn, I would head to Alwyn's Instagram. You can see him there and all of the artists that he posts. Alwyn, can you tell us your Instagram handle?
My Instagram is Alwyn De Los Santos. It's my full name. Check it out right in front of it, and you're good to go. You can see all of me.
And Alwyn, what is one last thing you want to close on? Anything else you want to speak on quickly?
Ooh, straight into the camera. Everything that you do it with a place of love, do it with a place of passion, and do it with a place of determination. All those things is the right formula in order for you to believe in yourself, to continue to action in what you are doing. It could be in the world of creating music. It could be in the world of visual arts. It could be whatever you want it to be creatively. But as long as you understand those three or more, you'll be able to continue. And you can start at any age. You don't have to be young, you don't have to be old, but as long as you start and have those understandings, your community will come. Your money will come. Your vision for yourself will become more real, and you'll be awesome.
Thank you, Alwyn. That was beautiful. Thank you, guys. We're going to wrap it up, unfortunately, but thank you for listening to our 5th episode of Art Talk Out West.
Shout out Charnel!
Shout out
All the risk!
All the risk.
Love it.
Thank you for following us. Thank you for listening. As always, thank you for supporting, and I will see you next time. Bye. Stay safe. Stay home.